morning and welcome to Mr. Harris Maths School. I am doing a lesson today on maths in sport and maths in football. And today we're going to cover various different things in maths in football. We are also, the description below should have a link, but it doesn't yet because it's not. I'm just putting in some tweaks. So about 5-10 minutes after the lesson finishes, there will be a worksheet that accompanies all the stuff we're going to talk about today in the lesson. So please do not be put off by the fact that it's not there yet. I promise it will be up just as soon as it possibly can after that. So without any delays, let's get straight into it. Okay, so we want to go straight into the PowerPoint. And a reminder, if you want to show me pictures of you doing the work at home, that's fantastic. It means I can use them in future videos. I can know how my lessons are impacting people. I love seeing stuff that people are doing at home, so that's all useful and all valid. Any work you do, send it to me and I'll try and put it on a wall to show the work that people are doing at home. So the first thing is a starter. This starter is how many goals have been scored in these matches between Arsenal, Liverpool and Watford this season. So there's 2 matches still to play, and obviously Arsenal can't play Arsenal, Liverpool can't play Liverpool, and Watford can't play Watford. But there have been 4 matches. How quickly can you work out how many goals have been scored? While you're doing that, I'm going to say good morning to Alicia. I'm going to say good morning to Usman. I'm going to say good morning to Adeline. And anyone else who's here. Usman, I think it's Ubaid. Good morning to everyone. Yeah, it is football today, so I'm dressing like a footballer, but I've also getting slightly long hair, and it's all messy, so I've gelled it a little bit and just tried to get it all down and controlled. So that's why I'm dressed a little bit differently today, because I want to look stylish and young. I'm failing miserably, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so hopefully it hasn't taken you too long. I said it was Ubaid. Brilliant. Hopefully it hasn't taken you too long to realise that each of these numbers represents a goal. So we've got 3 and 1 is 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 goals in these matches so far. And you'll notice actually Watford have scored 5 and conceded 2, and Liverpool have scored 5 and conceded 1, and Arsenal have only scored 3 goals and have lost both their matches. No, lost 1 and drawn 1. Watford have drawn 1-1-1. Liverpool have won 1-2. Yeah, so it's various different results. You can see they're different because Watford, the one along the top, is the away team. The one down the side is the home team. So I should have marked that on the table, really. Okay. Don't worry if you don't follow football. This is thank you, Obeid. I will take that. Hi, Harriet. Nice. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so this is the dimensions of a football pitch. This is the Premier League dimensions, and you'll see there's quite a few numbers here that are fixed, but there's also some numbers that are not fixed. They are between. So in the worksheet, you're going to be asked to find the minimum and maximum. To help you with this, I am going to work out live the halfway point. So exactly halfway, because by doing the halfway one, I'm not doing the work for you, but I'm showing you how you can do it. So I'm going to start off by just drawing a basic outline of the pitch, and we're going to say that this pitch, where are you? Oh, it's not plugged in. I unplugged it so that I could plug in my headphones. There we go. So we're going to say this one, we're going to say is, imagine that's 75. When you're doing your minimum maximum, you're going to have to do it with 50 and with 100, and this one will be 115. And so the possible area that a player might have to cover is all the stuff on the inside, and the perimeter is around the outside. So the perimeter's easiest. The perimeter is 75 plus 115 plus 75 plus 115. And I think that makes 20. And 7 and 1 is 8, and 7 and 1 is 8 is 16, plus 2 is 18, and 1 and 1 is 380. Okay, so we've got 380. Now these are yards. A yard is slightly less than a metre. It's about 90 centimetres, but it's not too far off. So running around the outside of a pitch, if it was these dimensions, would be about 380 yards. Now the actual areas inside are fixed. The 18-yard box is 18 yards, but what it hasn't got, and you'll need to do when you're working out the measurements, the actual 18-yard box here, it's 18 yards this way, but in order to work out the distance across it, you need to see all the different bits. So we've got there, and then within there, the goal itself, and sometimes we put the goal the other way to show that it's different. And you can see that the goal is always 8 yards, and then this bit is 6, which means this bit is and this bit is 18, so we might as well get rid of the 6. And then you've got 10. So it all depends on the size, but to find the area of the box, you're going to need an 18, an 8, and another 18. And I will rub out that 6. Just there. I'll draw in the goal again, so that we can see the goal. So 18 and 8 and 18 is going to tell you that the width of the box, of the whole area, is 4 to 44 yards. So that's how you'll be able to use that. If you haven't watched the video, it'll be obvious when you can't do the perimeter and the area of the boxes. Okay, there we go. Ubay's done some conversions for us. So we've got 44 by 18 is that box. This box here is called the 6-yard box. So it's going to be 6, and its width is going to be 6 and 8 and 6, and I believe 6 and 6 is 12, so I think it's 20 yards across. And they are standardised. The width of the pitch isn't standardised, but the 18-yard box is. The only other one you're going to need is the centre circle. That has a radius of 10. And the formula you need is the area and the circumference, because the circumference is the distance around the outside. That's for the perimeter of it, running around the outside of the circle. And the area is the distance is the space on the inside. And the formulas are circumference is pi times diameter, and the diameter being 2 times whatever the radius is. Pi times diameter, circumference is pi times diameter, area is pi radius squared. So the radius of 10, you'll be able to plug those in. I'm not going to do it for you because this is all going to be on the worksheet. So you need to be able to work out different things. You can also do, look, a quarter circle in the corner has a 1 yard radius. So can you do a 1 yard, and what's the area of that? Imagine the final part of the puzzle is you've got your footballer, male or female, I don't judge. I think everyone's entitled to enjoy themselves however they wish to. Okay, that footballer is going to start in this corner and run along every single edge. Ignore the corner circles bit, but every single edge. How far do they run? Now, that will need a little bit of understanding of the thing. So what I'm going to recommend to you is you ignore that line. Colour it in green because it's in the grass. Ignore that line. Can't reach the spots, so ignore the spots. And ignore, don't run on those bits. But all the other bits, how far would it be to run along every line of the football pitch? So it's an interesting little challenge for you. That's on the worksheet that will be added just after the end of the lesson. I'll be putting that worksheet on there. So that's all about the dimensions. I've also been doing some investigation of my own into the actual Premier League. This is the Premier League table. Unfortunately, 2 tables are missing. Isn't it good that we've got maths in sport so we can go through and do these? So we've got the goal difference is the first thing we're going to look at. Goal difference, GD is what we've got goal difference for, and goal difference is the difference between the number of goals for, that's what GF is, and the number of goals against. So Liverpool, for example, at the moment have scored 66 goals and conceded 21, so there's 66 minus 21 is 45 goal difference, plus 45, because it is possible to have a negative goal difference. That looks messy and I don't like it. And I don't mean messy in a football way. So we got that one. Now, if you look all the way down the bottom, Norwich have not been doing so great. Norwich have only scored 25, but they've conceded 52. So if you do 25, take away 52, you get minus 27. So their goal difference will be a negative. Okay? So there you've got the different ways of working out the goal difference, and it's going to be the goals for, take away the goals against. You don't force it to be positive. It's going to be always goals for, take away goals against. The second thing that's missing is points. I have cut off from this table by accident the points column. Now, to find the points, we have to remember that a win in football gets you 3 points and a draw gets you 1 point. There are no points for defeats. So if we look at Watford, because that's who I'm going to focus on because they're amazing, and we're going to get red for their shorts. Watford have got, so far, 6 wins. Hopefully we'll get a few more, but we have got Leicester this weekend, which is going to be very, very tough. And 9 draws, which is one of the highest draws in the league. That means in order to work out their points, you have to do 6 times 3 for the wins and add 9 times 1 for the draws. Is going to be, that's 9, that's 18. Watford currently have 27 points, and I think they'll be safe if they can get to 40 points. But it's going to be tough because they've only got 7 matches left. Okay? It doesn't matter if you watch football, hopefully that makes sense to you. Okay? So, we can do another team. Let's choose Tottenham, for example. Tottenham have got 11 wins and 8 draws. So to work out their points, you've got to do 11 times 3 plus 8 times 1. So it's 33 plus 8 is 41 points. So you can see you can work out all the missing ones by doing 3 points for 3 points for a win and 1 point for a draw. The final thing I'm going to focus on, if I go flick back into my thing, my PowerPoint, there's all the stuff, how many points have each team got, how many goals have been scored, what are the goal differences. So the other question I've got for you on your sheets is how many goals have been scored in total? How many goals have been scored? Now, the goals for and goals added against should add up to each other because obviously every goal that's been scored for has been scored against someone else. So it should be the same. Now, these are the goals in all-time Premier League history, and I don't expect that all of you Year 7s, 8s, maybe even some 6s or 5s will have heard of all these people, because some of them will have been finished before you were born. For example, Andy Cole finished in 2006, 2007. I don't know how old some of you are, but that might be before you finished. Alan Shearer finished. He's on Match of the Day now. Les Ferdinand was finished even earlier. But these are the highest goal scorers in Premier League history. Now, what we're looking at is the goals per game. And I've got a calculation set up for it, so we can actually have a look at this. Now, if I make this table a bit bigger, hopefully it will expand with me. Not if I do it like that. I believe I can make it bigger like that. Let's try and make it all bigger by going to there and changing the size of the font to 14, and then trying to move all the table a little bit so that, here we go, it is gradually getting there, but it's difficult for everyone to see everything, and I thought I'd got it all sorted before we started, but evidently not. Goals per game, there we go, that's the calculation we're going to do, and it's the names that are going to be important. Goals, the names of the things that are caused. There we go. Now, you may have heard of Wayne Rooney, although he's not playing in the Premier League anymore. He may still score a goal in the Premier League if Derby come up, but at the moment only Sergio Aguero is the one you might have heard of. But these are the goals per game calculations, and the way you do this is you divide the goals by the game. In fact, in maths, if you ever see the word per, it's a division of the first thing divided by the second. So this would be, in your calculators, 260 divided by 441. My calculator is probably in my bag from where I've been to school the last few days with my year 10 lessons. Here it is. So we're going to do 260 divided by 441, 260 divided by 441, and it tells me, and we're going to round it. So we're going to round it. It's 0.589. I say 0.589 is the same as 0.59. That means for every game, he'd score about 0.559 goals, or nearly 0.6. Now, if we look at Wayne Rooney, 208 divided by 491, that means his was 0.42. That means he didn't score as many goals per game as the other ones. Now look at what happens when we look at Sergio Aguero. Aguero! Divided by 6.2, it is 0.69. Not only has Aguero scored fourth highest numbers of goals in the Premier League, he's scored more per game than Shearer and Rooney did higher up. If he'd have played as many games, he'd have scored way more. Thierry Henry was very high as well. So sometimes it's not just, if you played more matches, it's obviously easier to score more goals. Not easy, but easier. So the goals per game stat helps us to see what those numbers would be. So you need to complete that. The same is true of the assists per game. Again, some players you may not have heard of, but there's two there that are still playing, if you do follow football at all. And that's David Silva at Man City and James Milner, who is at possibly Liverpool at the moment. Yes, Liverpool. I love his Twitter account. He's got a brilliant Twitter account where he takes the mick out of himself being boring. The assists per game works the same idea. You do the assists divided by games. So you can work out how many assists they do per game. Now you'll notice here, Ryan Giggs is very famous for this and for having lots of them. But actually, all the way down this table, that various people have got more assists in each game. I think Cesc Fabregas is the most prolific. He had 0.32 assists per game, which means nearly in every 3 games he'd do 1 assist, which is setting up a goal as an assist, not just a chance. It's setting up an actual goal, which is prolific. So here you go, and this is all the things that you're going to be doing on your worksheet. So today, what I would like you to do when you finish is complete the Maths in Football worksheet. You're going to have to wait maybe 3 or 4 minutes while I just finish it off and then submit it to the screen. So please be patient for that. Also, while you're waiting for that, go and complete the Corbett Maths 5 a day for today's date. They've got them for lots of days and it's all good practice. Go and complete that. And then remember to send pictures to Facebook or link to the comments when you're done. There's no Taskmaster this week, but the Taskmaster will return. He's having a break. But hopefully you've enjoyed today's lesson and you've learned something about the maths of football. I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson. I've been Mr. Harris, or Zlatan Harris. You have not. Thank you very much for joining me. Look after yourselves and take care.